A majestic elephant rescues a trapped lion from certain death. But what happens when the lion's pride arrives? Prepare for a shocking turn of events. Comment your predictions below. The once vibrant savannah, a tapestry of emerald and gold swaying gently in the breeze, now lay prostrate under a relentless azure sky. The sun, a malevolent eye, beat down with incandescent fury, baking the earth into a brittle crust. Where tall grasses once danced, a desolate expanse of cracked mud stretched to the horizon, swirling with fine, ochre dust carried on the mournful whisper of the wind. The air itself shimmered with heat, distorting the distant acacia trees into ghostly mirages. A deep stone well, a testament to the ancient wisdom of the migrating elephants who had carved its existence over generations, now presented a perilous temptation to the creatures driven to desperation by the drought. Its shadowed depths held the promise of life-giving water, but its steep, unforgiving sides offered no purchase for weakened limbs. It was a silent trap, lurking amidst the parched landscape. Then, a sound ripped through the oppressive silence, a raw, guttural roar of distress. A magnificent male lion, his once glorious mane now matted and dull with dust, his powerful frame gaunt with thirst, had made a desperate lunge for the precious liquid. His weary muscles had failed him. He had slipped, his massive body plummeting into the well, now hopelessly trapped within its stone embrace. His anguished bellows tore through the dry air, a lament echoing across the vast, unforgiving land. Across this parched domain, where survival was a daily struggle etched onto every creature, patrolled Elias Thorne, a ranger whose life was interwoven with the fate of this land and its inhabitants. His weathered face, a roadmap of countless seasons, was shaded by the brim of his worn hat as he sat astride Shuja, his loyal mount. Shuja, an aging bull elephant of formidable presence, his tusks ivory crescents bearing the marks of time and countless journeys, moved with a gentle yet purposeful gait. His name, Warrior, in the Swahili tongue, spoke of a steadfast spirit and an unwavering loyalty to Elias. The low rumble of Shuja's footfalls on the cracked earth was a familiar rhythm in Elias's life, a counterpoint to the rustling of dry grasses and the distant calls of birds. But then, a different sound pierced the stillness, the unmistakable roar of a lion in distress, carried on the still air. Both Elias and Shuja reacted instantly, a shared sense of urgency passing between man and beast. Without a moment's hesitation, Shuja shifted his weight, his large ears swiveling towards the source of the sound. Elias, sensing the elephant's understanding, tightened his grip on Shuja's broad back. With surprising speed for his age, the great elephant began to move, his powerful legs carrying them swiftly across the uneven terrain towards the desperate cry that echoed across the drought-stricken plains. As they approached the well, a stark image flashed through Elias's mind, a vivid memory etched by the passage of years. He saw a younger Shuja, a playful calf separated from his herd during the tumultuous chaos of a great migration. The small elephant, barely larger than a fully grown lion, had been surrounded by 4 sleek lionesses, their eyes gleaming with predatory intent, their bodies coiled and ready to strike. The air had crackled with imminent danger. Then a magnificent male lion, his mane a dark and flowing river, had intervened. With a courage that defied the natural order, he had positioned himself between the terrified calf and the waiting death. A thunderous roar had erupted from his chest, a primal declaration that echoed across the savannah. He had stood his ground, a formidable barrier, shielding the vulnerable calf until, finally, the 2 most aggressive lionesses had reluctantly backed down, their hunger momentarily quelled by the sheer audacity of the male. Later, Elias had found the orphan calf, bewildered and alone. The migrating herd had long since vanished over the horizon. Unable to locate his family, Elias had brought the young elephant back to the ranger station, raising him until he was old enough to fend for himself. Now, As he neared the well and heard the trapped lion's desperate cries, a profound question formed in Elias's mind. Could it be? Could the trapped lion be the very same magnificent protector from Shujaa's vulnerable youth? The thought sent a shiver down his spine, a strange premonition hanging heavy in the dry air. The scene at the well was one of stark desperation. The large male lion thrashed within the confines of the stone shaft, his powerful claws scrabbling uselessly against the smooth, unyielding walls. Each desperate movement only seemed to lodge him further, his roars growing weaker, laced with exhaustion and fear. The dust that clung to his once golden fur now formed dark patches where sweat and perhaps even blood had mingled. Elias, perched high on Shujaa's back, his brow furrowed in thought, surveyed the situation. The well was too deep and too narrow for him to descend safely. How could he possibly extract such a powerful predator without risking his own life or Shujaa's? He pondered the use of ropes, of makeshift harnesses, but the logistics seemed daunting, time slipping away with each ragged breath the trapped lion took. Before Elias could formulate a plan, Shujaa took matters into his own hands, or rather his own trunk. With a slow, deliberate movement, the great elephant lowered his immense trunk into the dark abyss of the well. The sensitive tip, capable of the most delicate touch, moved with surprising precision, tying the trapped creature below. Then, gently, almost tenderly, Shujaa's trunk wrapped itself around the lion's broad chest. Elias watched in stunned silence. There was a knowing in Shujaa's actions, a familiarity that transcended the usual boundaries between predator and prey. It was as if, deep within the ancient wisdom held within his massive frame, Shujaa recognized his former protector. With a low grunt of exertion, Shujaa began to lift. His powerful muscles bunched and strained beneath his thick hide as he steadily drew the massive lion upwards, inch by agonizing inch, towards the light of the surface. Dust and small stones rained down from the well as the lion, weakened but alive, was slowly extracted from his subterranean prison. Just as the lion's head and shoulders cleared the well's rim, a sudden movement caught Elias's eye. A pride of lionesses, drawn by the trapped male's earlier roars, emerged from the shimmering heat haze, their eyes fixed intently on the unfolding scene. Their low growls rumbled across the parched earth, a clear indication of their predatory intentions. They began to advance rapidly, their lithe bodies low to the ground, a formidable force converging on the vulnerable male. Without hesitation, understanding the imminent danger, Shujaa gave a mighty heave, lifting the now-free lion clear of the well's edge and gently depositing him a safe distance away. The race against time had begun. Shujaa stood as an imposing sentinel, his vast frame positioned protectively between the exhausted lion and the rapidly approaching lionesses. He lowered his massive head slightly, his large ears flared, a silent warning radiating from his very being. The lionesses, their initial aggression fueled by instinct, faltered in their advance. They had expected a vulnerable victim, an easy meal. Instead, they were confronted by the sheer size and unwavering presence of the elephant, a creature they would not typically challenge directly, especially in such an open space. Confusion flickered in their golden eyes. Was this not an attack? Was the elephant not intending to harm their male? The scene was an anomaly, a disruption of the natural order. The air crackled with unspoken tension, the only sound the soft panting of the rescued lion and the low rumbles emanating from the lionesses. Long seconds stretched into an eternity. The lionesses circled cautiously, their predatory instincts warring with a primal hesitation. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, their aggressive posture softened. One by one, they approached the rescued male, not with snarls and bared teeth, but with soft nudges and concerned murmurs. The pride surrounded their weary leader, a silent reunion unfolding under the watchful gaze of the elephant and the ranger. The rescued lion, bearing the scrapes and bruises of his ordeal but alive, lifted his heavy head and fixed his gaze upon Shuja and Elias. In his amber eyes, they saw not aggression, but a profound acknowledgement, something ancient and knowing that transcended the usual chasm between species. There was no triumphant roar, no display of dominance, only a weary understanding. Without a sound of greeting, he slowly rose to his feet, his powerful legs still shaky, and with a soft rumble that seemed to express gratitude, he turned and limped towards the waiting lionesses. Together, the pride moved as one, disappearing into the shimmering heat haze, seeking the cool sanctuary of the shade. Elias reached out and placed a hand on Shuja's broad, dusty flank. "Thank you, old friend," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. In the heart of the drought-stricken savannah, a bond had been forged and reaffirmed, a connection that defied fear and instinct, a silent testament to the enduring power of memory and an unexpected act of compassion between two souls who remembered a debt paid long ago. The harshness of the land had, in this instance, become the unlikely crucible for an extraordinary display of interspecies understanding. In the face of adversity, even the fiercest of creatures can find unexpected allies. The bonds of the past can echo through the present, shaping actions in ways we can scarcely imagine. Let this story remind us of the interconnectedness of life and the enduring power of compassion in a world often defined by survival. If this tale of the savannah moved you, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more stories from the wild heart of nature. Share this with others who appreciate the wonders of the animal kingdom.